As we grow older, many of us begin to notice a quiet change within ourselves. Colors that once felt exciting now seem too loud. Clothes that once caught our eyes no longer feel comfortable to wear. Even the way we choose the color of our home, our curtains, or small daily objects begins to soften over time. This is not coincidence, and it is not simply a matter of taste. It is the soul slowly learning to listen to energy. In youth, we choose colors to express ourselves. In later years, we choose colors to protect ourselves. This is something the elders understood long before modern psychology existed. They observed that certain colors brought calm to the heart, while others stirred restlessness without reason. They noticed that wearing the wrong color during certain periods led to fatigue, tension, or small but persistent troubles. Over time, these observations became quiet wisdom, passed down through daily life rather than written books. Many people believe color is only decoration, but in spiritual understanding, color is vibration. It enters through the eyes, settles into the mind, and eventually affects the body and emotions. This is why a room painted too dark can feel heavy, while soft tones bring ease. This is why some colors make us feel confident, while others make us uneasy without explanation. Color does not shout, but it constantly speaks. As life becomes more complex, the heart naturally seeks balance. Middle-aged and older people often carry many invisible burdens: responsibility for family, concern for health, memories of past hardship, and quiet worries about the future. When the heart carries weight, it becomes more sensitive to its surroundings. Color then becomes more than beauty. It becomes medicine or poison, depending on how it is used. The year 2026 arrives with particularly strong energy. It is not a gentle year, nor a passive one. It carries movement, change, and emotional intensity. In such a year, color becomes even more important. Just as we choose appropriate food when the body weakens, we must choose appropriate colors when the energy of the year is strong. The wrong color can amplify anxiety. The right color can calm the spirit and support clarity. In ancient times, people adjusted colors according to seasons, years, and life stages. They did not repaint everything or replace all belongings. They changed small things: a sash, a piece of fabric, a household object. These small adjustments were enough to shift energy gently. True Feng Shui was never about excess. It was about harmony. As we approach 2026, many people feel unsettled without knowing why. Sleep becomes lighter. Thoughts linger longer. This is a sign that the surrounding energy is changing. In times like these, color becomes a quiet guide. It helps the heart settle, the mind focus, and the spirit feel supported. Choosing the right color does not change destiny overnight, but it allows destiny to unfold with less resistance. This is why understanding the colors of the year matters, especially as we age. Not to chase trends, not to seek miracles, but to live more gently within the rhythm of time. When color aligns with energy, life feels slightly easier, and sometimes that small ease is the greatest blessing of all. Every year carries its own invisible atmosphere, much like the changing seasons. Even before the calendar turns, sensitive people often feel it. Some years feel heavy and slow, while others feel restless and bright. This is because each year is shaped by a dominant elemental energy, and that energy quietly influences emotions, decisions, and even the way colors interact with our lives. In traditional Eastern wisdom, time is not empty. Each year is born with a specific character, formed by the balance of the 5 elements. These elements are not abstract ideas. They represent natural movements that exist in the body, the mind, and the environment. Just as weather affects crops, yearly energy affects people. Color is the bridge between that energy and daily life. The year 2026 carries a strong and active force. It is not a year that prefers silence or stillness. It brings motion, visibility, and emotional intensity. In such a year, colors do not remain neutral. Some colors strengthen balance, while others create excess. This is why a color that felt comforting in a previous year may suddenly feel tiring, and a color once ignored may now feel soothing. Many people wonder why the same color can feel different at different times in life. The answer lies in harmony. Color itself does not change, but its relationship with the year's energy does. When the dominant energy of the year clashes with a certain color, that color can drain strength instead of supporting it. When they harmonize, even a small amount of that color can bring calm and clarity. In 2026, the overall energy is active and expressive. Society moves faster, emotions surface more easily, decisions feel more urgent. In this environment, overly intense colors can push the mind into restlessness. At the same time, colors that are too dull may weaken motivation. Balance becomes essential. The purpose of lucky colors is not to excite, but to stabilize and guide. The elders often taught that color should follow the year, not personal preference alone. This does not mean abandoning what you like. It means adjusting gently. Just as one adds or removes layers of clothing depending on the weather, one adjusts colors depending on the year's energy. This adjustment becomes more important as we grow older because the body and mind become less tolerant of imbalance. Another important principle is that no color is universally lucky. A color that supports one person may not support another, depending on temperament, health, and life stage. However, every year still carries certain colors that resonate more smoothly with its overall rhythm. These colors act like neutral ground. They reduce friction rather than create excitement. For middle-aged and elderly people, this quality is especially valuable. In past generations, people did not need scientific studies to understand this. They observed daily life. They noticed that wearing certain colors during certain years brought peace, while others brought discomfort. Over time, this became lived knowledge. Today, we may explain it differently, but the truth remains the same. Color influences energy, and energy shapes experience. As we move closer to revealing the most powerful lucky colors of 2026, it is important to hold this understanding. Color is not magic, and it is not decoration alone. It is a quiet tool for harmony. Used gently, it supports health, clarity, and emotional stability. Used carelessly, it amplifies imbalance. The goal is not to change everything, but to align just enough. When color follows the year's energy, life flows with less resistance. And in a year as active as 2026, that gentle flow becomes especially precious. As we move closer to the heart of the matter, many people naturally ask the same quiet question. If colors carry energy, then which ones truly support us in 2026? The answer is not found in trends or fashion forecasts, but in how certain colors resonate with the rhythm of the year itself. The most powerful lucky colors of 2026 are not meant to impress the eyes. They are meant to settle the heart, protect the spirit, and guide energy gently in the right direction. One of the most supportive colors in 2026 is a warm, earthy golden yellow. This is not a sharp or flashy gold, but a softened tone, like sunlight filtered through morning mist. This color represents stability, nourishment, and quiet abundance. For many middle-aged people, life is no longer about chasing more, but about maintaining what has been built. Golden yellow supports this desire. It strengthens confidence without arrogance and encourages steady financial thinking. Used in small amounts, it brings a sense of grounded optimism, reminding us that abundance grows best when the roots are strong. Another important color for 2026 is calm jade green. Green has always symbolized renewal and balance, but in this year, its softer shades become especially meaningful. Jade green supports healing, patience, and emotional recovery. For those who feel tired after years of responsibility, this color gently restores inner strength. It is a color that does not rush. It teaches the heart to breathe again. Many elders instinctively feel comfort when surrounded by green, because it reconnects them with natural rhythms and quiet resilience. A third powerful color in 2026 is muted crimson. closer to deep wine than bright red. While bright red can feel overwhelming in an already intense year, softened red tones offer protection and warmth without agitation. This color carries spiritual strength and courage, helping people face change without fear. It is particularly helpful during moments of decision, when confidence is needed but aggression would be harmful. Used wisely, muted crimson acts like a protective cloak rather than a burning flame. There is also an important supporting color that should not be overlooked: soft earth brown. Often underestimated, this color anchors energy and creates a sense of safety. In 2026, when emotions can fluctuate easily, brown brings steadiness. It reminds us of home, tradition, and continuity. For those who value family harmony and inner peace, this color quietly supports both physical comfort and emotional stability. What all these colors share is moderation. They are not loud, and they do not demand attention. Instead, they work in the background, shaping mood and energy subtly. This is why they are especially suitable for middle-aged and older people. At this stage of life, strength is no longer expressed through intensity, but through balance. The elders of the past understood this instinctively. They did not dress in extreme colors during active years. They chose tones that calmed the mind and strengthened the spirit. They knew that when the world outside moves too quickly, the inner world must remain steady. Color was one of the tools they used to achieve this. It is also important to remember that lucky colors do not need to dominate your surroundings. A small detail is enough. A scarf, a cushion, a wallet, or a simple household object can carry the energy just as effectively as larger changes. True feng shui does not overwhelm, it supports quietly. In 2026, these colors do not promise miracles. They do not guarantee wealth or remove hardship entirely. What they offer is alignment. They help the heart remain calm in the face of change and allow opportunities to be recognized without panic. When the mind is settled, decisions become clearer. When decisions are clear, life flows more smoothly. As we continue, we will look more closely at how these colors can be used for specific purposes in daily life, not as decoration, but as gentle companions on the journey through the year. As the year unfolds, many people begin to realize that color serves different purposes depending on what part of life needs support. A color that feels calming in the home may not be the one that supports work or financial focus. In 2026, understanding how to use color according to intention becomes more important than simply knowing which colors are lucky in general. When color is chosen with purpose, it stops being decoration and becomes guidance. For matters related to money and work, colors in 2026 should support clarity and stability rather than excitement. Soft golden yellow and warm earth tones work best here. These colors encourage patience, careful planning, and realistic thinking. For those still working or managing family finances, using these tones in items such as a wallet, work notebook, or desk accessory can subtly influence decision-making. The effect is not dramatic, but it is steady. It helps prevent impulsive choices and supports long-term thinking, which becomes increasingly valuable with age. When it comes to health and emotional well-being, calm, jade, green, and gentle neutral tones become especially supportive. Health in later years is closely tied to emotional balance. Stress lingers longer, and recovery takes more time. Green tones help the body and mind return to a natural rhythm. They encourage rest without dullness and activity without strain. Using green in sleeping areas, daily clothing, or objects touched often can create a sense of quiet reassurance. It reminds the body that it is safe to slow down. For family harmony and relationships, especially within multi-generational households, soft earth browns and warm beige tones offer grounding energy. These colors promote patience and understanding. In 2026, when emotions can rise easily, such tones help reduce unnecessary tension. They are particularly helpful in shared spaces, like living rooms or dining areas, where conversations happen and bonds are reinforced. These colors do not dominate. They hold space, allowing different energies to coexist peacefully. In spiritual and protective spaces, such as areas used for prayer, reflection, or remembrance, muted crimson or deep wine tones can be used carefully. These colors carry a sense of reverence and strength. They support courage without aggression and protection without fear. In 2026, when inner stability is tested, these tones can help maintain focus and dignity. However, they should be used sparingly. A small accent is enough to create presence without overwhelming the senses. One of the most important lessons in using color for life purposes is simplicity. Many people believe they must change everything to feel a difference. This is not true. Feng Shui works best when adjustments are gentle. A single item changed with intention is often more effective than many changes made without thought, especially for older individuals. Simplicity protects both energy and comfort. It is also worth remembering that personal comfort matters. A color that causes discomfort, even if considered lucky, will not support you well. The body reacts honestly. If a color feels heavy or irritating, it is a sign to reduce it. True harmony respects individual sensitivity. In 2026, color becomes a quiet companion rather than a statement. It supports daily life subtly, helping each area remain balanced without forcing change. When used thoughtfully, color does not demand attention. It works in the background, aligning the small details of life with the larger movement of the year. As we continue, we will look at the colors that may quietly drain energy in 2026 if used without awareness, and how to adjust without fear or drastic change. Just as certain colors support harmony in 2026, there are also colors that may quietly drain energy if used without awareness. This does not mean these colors are bad or forbidden. Every color has its place. The issue arises when a color amplifies imbalance in a year that already carries strong movement and emotional intensity. In such cases, even familiar colors can create subtle discomfort over time. One color to be cautious with in 2026 is overly bright or aggressive red. Red has long been associated with luck and celebration, especially during festive seasons. However, in a year where energy is already active and emotionally charged, too much bright red can overstimulate the mind. For some people, this may show up as restlessness, irritability, or difficulty sleeping. The heart feels rushed without knowing why. This does not mean red must be removed entirely. It simply needs to be softened, used in smaller amounts, or replaced with deeper, calmer tones when possible. Another color that may cause imbalance in 2026 is stark, cold black when used excessively. Black carries depth and protection, but it also absorbs energy. In a year that requires emotional flexibility and clarity, too much black can feel heavy, isolating, or draining. Some people may notice increased fatigue or low mood when surrounded by dark tones for long periods. Again, this is not about avoidance, but balance. Mixing black with warmer or lighter colors allows it to provide protection without heaviness. Sharp metallic silver or overly reflective tones can also be challenging this year. While these colors often symbolize precision and modernity, they can create mental tension in an already fast-paced environment. For older individuals especially, such tones may increase nervous energy or mental clutter. When the mind becomes overstimulated, small worries feel larger than they truly are. Reducing exposure to harsh metallic colors helps maintain emotional calm. It is important to understand that negative effects rarely appear suddenly. Color imbalance often shows itself through small, repeated signals. Feeling unusually tired in certain spaces, experiencing unexplained irritation, or feeling uneasy without clear cause are all signs to pay attention. These are not superstitions. They are the body's way of communicating discomfort. The elders always advised gentle adjustment rather than dramatic change. If a color has been part of your life for many years, removing it completely may feel unsettling. Instead, reduce its presence gradually. Add softer tones nearby. Change textures, rather than colors entirely. These small changes are enough to restore balance without disrupting comfort. Another key principle is not to panic. Many people, upon hearing about unlucky colors, rush to replace everything at once. This creates stress, which is far more harmful than any color choice. Feng Shui is meant to calm, not alarm. If a color brings you emotional comfort, that comfort itself holds value. The goal is awareness, not fear. In 2026, moderation is the guiding rule. Colors that shout should be softened. Colors that weigh down should be lightened. When adjustments are made gently, energy responds gently in return. This approach respects both tradition and personal experience. As we move forward, the focus shifts from what to avoid to how to use color correctly. When used with intention and restraint, even challenging colors can be transformed into supportive ones. The key lies not in the color itself, but in how it is welcomed into daily life. As people grow older, the desire for simplicity becomes stronger. This is also the spirit of correct color use in 2026. Many misunderstand Feng Shui and believe it requires dramatic changes, complete renovations, or constant adjustments. In truth, the most effective use of color is often the quietest. In a year filled with movement and emotional stimulation, less truly becomes more. The first principle to remember is that color works best where life touches most often. Clothing, for example, influences energy more directly than wall paint because it stays close to the body. In 2026, choosing calm and supportive colors for daily wear helps stabilize emotions throughout the day. This does not mean dressing plainly or losing personal style. It simply means favoring tones that feel gentle and reassuring rather than sharp or overwhelming. Even a small accessory in a supportive color can influence mood more than expected. Another important area is the wallet or items connected to money. These objects carry symbolic weight. In many traditions, the wallet represents how one treats wealth. Using calm earth tones or soft golden shades helps reinforce a respectful and steady relationship with money. It encourages careful spending and thoughtful saving, which become increasingly important later in life. This is not about attracting sudden wealth, but about preserving what has been earned. The bedroom deserves special attention. Sleep becomes lighter with age, and rest becomes precious. Colors in sleeping areas should support relaxation and emotional safety. In 2026, gentle greens, warm neutrals, and soft fabrics are especially beneficial. Avoid placing strong or stimulating colors where the eyes rest before sleep. A calm bedroom supports deeper rest, and better rest supports clearer thinking and stronger health. In spaces used for reflection, prayer, or quiet time, color should create dignity rather than intensity. Soft, deep tones used sparingly help maintain focus without agitation. These spaces do not need decoration, they need calm presence. A single object in a meaningful color often holds more power than many objects competing for attention. One of the most common mistakes people make is using too many lucky colors at once. Feng Shui is not about accumulation. When many colors are mixed without intention, energy becomes scattered. In 2026, scattered energy leads to fatigue and confusion. Choosing one or two supportive colors and allowing them to repeat gently through life creates coherence. Coherence is what the mind seeks in active years. It is also important not to follow trends blindly. What is popular may not be suitable. Middle-aged and elderly individuals benefit most from familiarity and comfort. A color that feels safe to you carries personal meaning that no forecast can replace. Feng Shui respects personal experience as much as tradition. Another subtle but powerful practice is consistency. Changing colors frequently creates instability. Once a supportive color is chosen, allow it to stay. Stability in surroundings creates stability in thought. In a year like 2026, this consistency becomes a form of protection. Ultimately, color is meant to support the heart, not control life. It is a companion, not a command. When used gently, color helps life feel smoother without demanding attention. It does not force luck, but it reduces resistance. And often, reducing resistance is all that is needed for life to unfold with greater ease. As we approach the final reflection, remember that the most powerful adjustments are those that bring calm rather than excitement. In that calm, the true benefit of color reveals itself. As everything we have spoken about slowly settles, there is one final truth worth reflecting on. After all the discussions about lucky colors, balance, and adjustment, many people eventually realize that the most powerful color is not found in fabric, walls, or objects. It is found in the state of the heart. Color is a guide, but the heart is the destination. There is a quiet story often told among elders. A man once believed his life was unlucky, so he constantly changed the colors around him. One year he wore bright colors to chase fortune. Another year he removed all color, hoping to avoid trouble, yet his heart remained restless. One day, an old teacher told him to stop changing colors and sit quietly. When his breathing calmed, the teacher said, "Now look again." The man realized that the room had not changed, but his feeling within it had. From that moment on, any color felt lighter. The year 2026 carries strong movement, but it also carries this gentle lesson. No color can replace inner peace. The right color supports peace, but it does not create it on its own. When the heart is tense, even the luckiest color feels heavy. When the heart is calm, even ordinary colors feel warm. As people move into later stages of life, priorities naturally change. Health becomes more valuable than speed. Quiet mornings feel richer than loud celebrations. Enough feels safer than excess. In this phase, color should reflect acceptance rather than ambition. It should remind us to live comfortably within our means, emotionally and materially. This does not mean giving up hope or joy. On the contrary, it means choosing joy that lasts. The colors of 2026 are meant to support this kind of joy. They help the mind slow down, the body rest more deeply, and the spirit feel protected. They encourage clarity instead of confusion, steadiness instead of haste. If you choose to adjust colors in your life this year, do so gently. Change one thing at a time. Observe how you feel. Trust your own experience more than rules. Feng Shui was never meant to overpower intuition. It was meant to guide it. As the year unfolds, there may be moments of uncertainty. When that happens, return to simplicity. Light a lamp. Sit quietly. Notice which colors bring comfort rather than stimulation. These are the colors that truly belong to you, regardless of trends or predictions. May 2026 bring you a life that feels settled rather than rushed, supported rather than pressured. May the colors around you soften your days and steady your nights. And may you remember that when the heart is at peace, every color becomes a lucky one.